Have you ever felt like there's a part of you that you keep hidden away, even from yourself? Well, a very wise psychologist named Jung talked a lot about this. He called it the shadow. It's not as spooky as it sounds, I promise. Think of it more like a storeroom in your mind. It's where we tuck away all the bits of ourselves we've learned to believe aren't acceptable. Maybe it's anger or sadness or even big, bold dreams. These parts live deep down in our subconscious. They are quiet, but they're definitely still there, influencing how we feel and act. So what exactly goes into this shadow storeroom? It's often things like jealousy or maybe a sharp tongue. It could be feelings of insecurity or fear. But here's a surprise. It's not just the negative stuff. Sometimes we hide our strengths too, our creativity, our ambition, our unique quirks. If we were ever made to feel like those parts were too much or not right, we might have pushed them into the shadow. Jung believed these hidden parts hold so much of our vitality, our raw energy, our unexplored potential. It's a powerful thought, isn't it? Now, Jung didn't see the shadow as something to be conquered or eliminated. Not at all. He actually saw it as a vital part of being whole. He believed that by exploring our shadow, by getting to know it, we could unlock incredible personal growth. It's like finding hidden treasure within ourselves. This isn't about digging up dirt for no reason. It's about understanding ourselves more deeply. It's about courageously looking at all aspects of who we are, not just the polished, presentable bits we show the world every day. And here's something really important to remember. Every single one of us has a shadow. It's a universal human experience. It's not a sign that you're flawed or that something is wrong with you. It simply means you're human. Our shadows are shaped by our personal experiences, our upbringing, and the messages we received from the world around us. The first step in this journey is just acknowledging it's there. It's about gently turning towards it with curiosity rather than judgment, saying, "Okay, shadow, I'm willing to learn about you." Let's talk about something many of us can relate to. The nice guy or the nice gal, you know the type. Always agreeable, always smiling, always putting others first. They never seem to cause a fuss. On the surface, it seems wonderful, right? Who wouldn't want to be seen as nice? But sometimes this constant niceness can be a mask. It can be a way we try to keep our shadow hidden, even from ourselves. It's a way of performing a version of ourselves that we think others will approve of. When we're so focused on being nice, we often have to push down other perfectly natural parts of ourselves. Think about it. Maybe we suppress our assertiveness because we don't want to seem bossy or demanding. We might swallow our anger because being angry isn't considered nice. We might even hide our own needs and desires because we don't want to be a burden or appear selfish. These parts of us, our ability to set boundaries, to express frustration, to ask for what we need, get relegated to the shadow. They become the disowned pieces of our true self. This pattern often starts when we're young. We're incredibly perceptive as kids. We quickly learn what behaviors earn us praise, love, and acceptance. And we also learn what leads to disapproval, disappointment, or even punishment. So, we start to curate ourselves. We build a persona, an acceptable version that we present to the world. The parts of us that don't fit this carefully constructed image, they get tucked away into the shadow. It's a coping mechanism, a way to navigate our social worlds, but it means we're not living as our full, authentic selves. The thing is, those suppressed feelings and traits don't just vanish into thin air. They have a way of making themselves known. Sometimes they seep out as passive aggression, or maybe they manifest as a persistent, low-level resentment that we can't quite explain. We might feel a sense of being misunderstood or even like an imposter, because when we're constantly hiding parts of ourselves, we disconnect. We lose that vital connection not only with others, but more importantly with our own inner world. Trying to maintain that perfect, nice facade all the time is utterly exhausting. So what can we do about this shadow, this nice persona that might be holding us back? Jung had a really hopeful concept for this. He called it individuation. It sounds a bit like a fancy academic term, but the essence of it is beautiful. It simply means the journey of becoming more whole. It's about courageously looking at those parts we've disowned or hidden. The messy bits, the uncomfortable bits, yes, but also the surprisingly wonderful bits. It's about bringing all of these pieces into the light of our conscious awareness. You might be wondering, why go through all that trouble? Well, the rewards are immense. When we start to acknowledge and integrate our shadow, it loses its power over us. We stop unconsciously projecting our hidden insecurities or judgments onto other people. You know those moments when someone really gets under your skin? Often they are just reflecting a disowned part of our own shadow back at us. By embracing these parts, we reclaim the energy that was tied up in suppressing them. We can then use that energy for growth, creativity, and living a more vibrant, authentic life. We see this journey reflected in many stories and myths. Think about characters in books or movies who have to face their inner demons or hidden flaws. They often emerge stronger, wiser, and more complete. For example, in Mozart's opera The Magic Flute, the hero Tamino encounters a dragon. Some interpretations see this dragon as representing his shadow self, his unconscious fears that he must confront to progress on his path to enlightenment. It's not about achieving some state of perfection. It's about embracing our imperfections and becoming more real, more truly ourselves. This process of individuation, this journey toward wholehearted living, isn't a quick fix or a destination we arrive at one day. It's more like a continuous dance, a lifelong practice of self-discovery and self-compassion. It definitely takes courage to look at the parts of ourselves we've kept hidden for so long. It requires a willingness to be vulnerable with ourselves, but the payoff is profound. It's the chance to live a life filled with more genuine connection, deeper meaning, and a true sense of belonging to ourselves. And isn't that something worth striving for? It's really quite something, isn't it? This idea of the shadow has been around for nearly a century, thanks to Jung. But recently, there's been a huge surge of interest in what people are calling shadow work. You can't scroll too far on social media platforms like TikTok without seeing someone talking about it. It seems like so many of us are feeling a deep pull to understand ourselves on a more profound level. This collective curiosity, this yearning for authenticity and deeper connection is truly a powerful and hopeful sign of our times. We're seeing this interest reflected in popular culture too. For instance, books like The Shadow Work Journal by Kayla Shaheen have become bestsellers with millions of copies sold, largely thanks to word of mouth on social media. This tells us that people aren't just curious, they're actively seeking tools and guidance to do this inner work. Now, it's true that complex psychological concepts can sometimes get oversimplified on these platforms, and shadow work is indeed deep and personal, but the fact that the conversation is happening so widely, that's a wonderful starting point. It means we're becoming more open to exploring these important parts of ourselves. So how can we start to engage in this shadow work in our own daily lives? It doesn't need to be an overwhelming or scary process. Lisa Marciano, a Jungian analyst, offers some really practical advice. She suggests simply getting curious. Pay attention to your strong emotional reactions. When do you find yourself feeling intensely judgmental of someone else, or incredibly self-righteous? These powerful emotional flare-ups can often be like little signposts pointing toward aspects of your own shadow. The key is to approach these moments with gentle curiosity, not harsh self-criticism. Ultimately, engaging with our shadow isn't about wallowing in darkness or endlessly dissecting our flaws. It's about the striving for wholeness. It's an act of courage and profound self-care. By daring to shine a light on the hidden corners of our psyche, we unlock untapped potential, creativity, and resilience. We build stronger, more authentic relationships because we're showing up as our true selves. We cultivate deeper compassion, both for ourselves and for others. It's an ongoing journey, a continuous unfolding, but it's a journey that leads to a richer, more meaningful, and more authentically lived life.